Good morning, everyone. So, in chapter 3, we have covered almost all the topics. There remains the last section which talks about subspaces associated with matrices. So, we are going to discuss three subspaces which are associated with a given matrix. So, we start with the column space. So, let A be any m cross n matrix. Column space of A is the subspace denoted by column A, COLA, spanned by the column vectors of A. So let us consider any matrix. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 0. It has three columns. So you can say C1, C2, C3. So column space of A is span of C1, C2, C3, and you can see that the elements of C1 it looks like 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6, 0, and therefore it is a subspace of R2. So M cross N matrix, 2 cross 3 matrix. Now there are few interesting remarks related to the column space. The first one says that if you recall a non-homogeneous system of equation Ax is equal to B, so it is solvable, it means it is consistent if and only if vector B can be expressed as a combination of the columns of A. So it means that recall the same system 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 0. Yes. So Ax is equal to B. So this is A. X is x1, x2, x3. B is anything. B1, B2. So Ax can be written as 1, 2, x1 plus 3, 5, x2 plus 6, 0, x3 is equal to B1, B2. It means that if we can express the column vector B as a linear combination of 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6, 0, then the system is consistent, otherwise not. Yes, so this is how you can relate the column space with the system of the non-homogeneous system of equation. Even if you see here, then you can also predict that B1, B2 belongs to span of column A. So if it belongs to span of C1, C2, C3, which is column space A, then we can say that the system is consistent. So it belongs to column A, which means that Ax is equal to B is consistent if and only if B lies in the plane that is spanned by two columns. So I am just considering if two columns, then their linear combination forms a plane, and the system is consistent if this vector B lies in the plane, because then only it can be expressed as a linear combination of those two vectors. If it is outside the plane, it's not possible. So this is how you can see it geometrically also. Even if A is a non-singular matrix of order n, consider 2, 5, 1, 2, non-singular matrix of order n, and if you consider Ax is equal to B for this matrix, then irrespective of any B, you can write X is equal to A inverse B. It means irrespective of any B, the system would have always a solution. Yes, and B is any vector in R2. It means every vector in R2 can be expressed as a linear combination of these two columns, and these two columns are Li, because A is non-singular. So you can see that it spans, these two columns spans R2 and they are Li, therefore they forms the basis of R2. So this is how you can relate the column space and the system of equations. So if A is non-singular matrix of order n, then the column space is Rn. Next is row space. So row space, denoted as row A, is the subspace spanned by row vectors. So span R1, R2, Rn. Even there is a relation with the column space. So row space of A is same as column space of A transpose. You can easily observe this one. And the last one is null space. So you have already seen the null space, but we are introducing the terminology now. So it is a subspace of Rn consisting of solutions of homogeneous linear system. So null space A is all those x for which Ax is equal to 0. You can easily prove that all of them. First two are the span of vectors, so of course the subspace. Null space also, it's very easy to check, because if you consider x1 x2 because belongs to null A, then their combination x1 plus x2 also belongs, because Ax1 plus Ax2 is equal to 0. So similarly the other condition can be satisfied, and you can see that null space also forms a subspace. So these are the three subspaces which we are going to study in this section: column space, row space, and null space. Find a basis for the row space, column space, and null space of this matrix. Okay. Now if you see this matrix, then this matrix is already in REF. Yes. Now they are already in REF. Let's talk about row space first. So if their rows R2, R1, R2, R3, R4, you can see that all of these rows are Li. R1, R2, R3, R4 are Li. Yes, because each one of them has the pivot entry. If they are not Li, then there must be a 0 row at the bottom. So if LD, then you can see that if you apply the row operation, then you will get the 0 row at the bottom. Since each one has the pivot entries, so they are Li. So it means that R1, R2, R3, R4. So row A is equal to span of R1, R2, R3, R4. So it means that we are looking for the basis of span R1, R2, R3, R4, span S. It means we are just looking for a Li subset of S. And since R1, R2, R3, R4 all are Li, and therefore they form the basis for row space. So basis for row space is row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. You can write in this form: 1 minus 3, 2, 4, then second vector, third vector, and fourth vector. The same logic applies for the column space. Each column has pivot entry, which means they are Li. Since they are Li, so column space A is span of C1, C2, C3, C4. We need to look for Li subset, and therefore C1, C2, C3, C4, C1, C2, C3, C4 forms a basis for column space A. Last one is the null space. So if you solve this system, even if you compute RREF, then RREF of A is I4, identity matrix. So RREF of A is I4. From there you will get x1, x2, x3, x4 are equal to 0. Since all of them are 0, so null space is, we have defined null space as all those x for which Ax is equal to 0. So in this case, null space of A is the 0 vector. Okay, it means that if the given matrix is in REF or RREF, then it's very easy to compute row space, column space and null space, or the basis of row space, column space and null space. This leads us to the question that what would happen if the matrix is not in REF. So this is an exercise which you can try by yourself. So if a matrix is in REF, row echelon form, then the row vectors with the leading ones form a basis for row space of R, and the column vector with the leading ones of the row vector form a basis for the column space of R. So this we have just discussed, that if we consider the row space or the column space, you are looking for the Li subset. Yes, and since the pivot, the columns with the pivot entries or the columns with the pivot rows, they are Li, and therefore they forms the basis for the row space and column space correspondingly. So we say that matrices A and B are row equivalent if there is a finite sequence of elementary row operations that transforms A into B or B into A. So consider this example. So here, if I change R2 to R2 plus R3, then I get the matrix B. So I transformed A into B, and by using the inverse operation, I can easily identify that how I can get B to A. It means that matrices A and B are row equivalent. This leads us to very interesting remark that every matrix is row equivalent to its row echelon form, because in row echelon form only elementary row operations are allowed. So you are applying the elementary row operations each time, which means you are transforming one matrix into the other by applying the row operations, and therefore at each step we are getting the row equivalent matrices. So if a matrix A is row equivalent to B, of course B is row equivalent to A, because if you can go from A to B by applying the row operations, you can identify the row operations to go from B to A. But this is the most important remark. It says that if B is a matrix that is row equivalent to A, then row A is equal to row B. Okay, let's try to understand what it is saying. So let us consider a matrix A. So A is 1 2 0 2 6 4. Apply an operation, R2 changes to R2 minus 2R1. That gives me 1 2 0 0 2 4. Yes. So this means that I am calling this one as R1, this is as R2. So if I write row B, so row B means the linear combination of these two rows. So first row remains as it is R1. So A times R1 plus B times, in B what you have done, you have transformed this R2 into R2 minus 2R1. So this is my row B. I can write it as A minus 2B R1 plus B R2, which simply becomes row A, because it is a linear combination of R1 and R2, span R1 R2. This means that if B and A are row equivalent, you can always get row A is equal to row B. What do you think? Is it the same result holds for column space, which means, do you think column A is equal to column B? Actually not. So consider A is equal to 1 2 3 6. These are C1 C2, and you apply a row operation. So you are reducing R2 to R2 minus 2R1. This gives you B is equal to 1 3 0 0. If you see column B here, so it is A times 1 0 plus B times 3 0, or it is A plus 3B comma 0, where AB belongs to R. In this case it is A times 1 2 plus B times 3 6, which is A plus 3B and 2A plus 6B. So you can see that column A, which covers the elements of the form, the first entry is A plus 3B and twice of that entry. But in column B, the second entry must be 0. So which means that column A is not equal to column B. So when we are applying the row elementary row operations, row A remains row B, but column A may not be equal to column B. So find a basis for the row space A. So now I have to use the result that row A is equal to row B. If they are equal, their bases are equal. So what I do, I already know how to find the basis when the matrix is in REF. So I reduce it into the REF A, let's call it B. So I compute its REF, and then since row A is equal to row B, it means the basis for this matrix B is same as the basis for matrix A. So this is the REF. And now what is basis? So basis for B, or basis for row B. So basis for row B is first two rows, because it is in REF and these two rows are linearly independent. So 1 0 1 2 1 and 0 1 1 2, which is the basis for row A, because row A is equal to row B. Okay, next theorem says that a given set of column vectors of A forms a basis for the column space of A if and only if corresponding column vectors of B forms a basis for the column space of A. So what it is saying is that let us consider a matrix 1 2 3 6. Okay, or this is giving you linearly dependent. Let's consider Li to better understand it. So 1 5 2 7. Since these two columns are Li, so its RREF should be 1 0 0 1. So here what I am claiming that if C1 dash C2 dash are Li, these two columns are Li, then C1 C2 are Li. Yes, so if C1 dash C2 dash are Li, then C1 dash C2 dash forms a basis for column B and C1 C2 forms a basis for column A. So recall that in the previous case I said that if R1 dash R2 dash is a basis for row B, then they are also the basis for row A. But in this case we are not claiming the same. We are claiming if C1 dash C2 dash are basis for column B, then the corresponding columns, the position wise, the first and second columns forms a basis for column A. Okay, so two observations. The first observation is if these two are Li, then the corresponding columns are Li. Why is it so? It's easy to check. So let's say I have to check these two columns are Li or not. So I write A times 1 5 plus B times 2 7 is equal to 0 0. It gives me a homogeneous system of equation, and if they are Li, then A comes out to be 0, B comes out to be 0. So the equivalent system is 1 0 0 1, because if you multiply them by a b, then it gives you a is equal to 0, b is equal to 0. It means that from here, if I have to reach here, then 1527 are Li, which means a is equal to 0, b is equal to 0, which means the equivalent system is this RREF 1001. It has 2 pivot entries. Okay, and now since these two are Li, they forms the basis for column B, and 1527 are Li, they forms the basis for column A. We can do this because we are using the elementary row operations. So we can interchange the positions of row, but we are not interchanging the positions of the columns. And therefore, when I am saying that first two columns are Li here, then I can also say that first two columns are Li in B, then first two columns are Li in A. But same I cannot claim for the rows. If first two rows are Li in REF, I cannot say that the for sure first two columns are Li in the original matrix A, because I may have interchanged the positions of the row, but interchanging the positions of the columns is not allowed. Little bit confusing, but take your time, it would be clear. So find a basis for the column space of A. So what we need to do to form the basis for the column space of A? So again I have to compute the REF. I have already seen what is REF. If you compute the REF, you can see that this is the pivot entry, this is the pivot entry. This means that this is C1 dash, C2 dash. So C1 dash, C2 dash forms a basis for column B. And then using the previous theorem, C1 and C2. So C1 and C2 forms a basis for column A. So C1 is 1 4 5 6 9, and C2 is 3 minus 2 1 4 minus 4. So I believe now it's clear that how to compute the basis for column space and how to compute the basis for row space. In the row space, you get the non-zero rows in REF. Those non-zero rows gives you the basis of the original matrix. But in the column space, you have to see the pivot entries and the columns corresponding to the pivot entries in the original matrix gives you the basis for the column space. So we need to see many more examples to better understand the concept of computing the basis for the row space, column space and null space. We are going to do it in the next class. Thank you for watching the video.